Depending on your viewpoint, the volcanic landscape of Lanzarote is either beautiful or bleak, stark or spectacular. The horizon is punctuated by volcanic cones, while much of the ground is a turmoil of black lava and ash. In historic terms, this upheaval is relatively recent. The last major volcanic explosion was only 280 years ago, and lasted for 6 years. It covered much of the island with inhospitable lava flows. Villages were destroyed, but luckily the inhabitants had time to flee. In places it is possible to cultivate the ash with difficulty, only by ingeniously planting single grapevines in hollows, which draw water from the air to irrigate each plant. A trip to the Mountains of Fire in Timanfaya National Park give a dramatic sense of what power still lies just beneath the surface. At only a shovel's depth, the ash is still too hot to handle comfortably. In fact, the temperature at only 40 meters deep is still 600 degrees centigrade. Twigs thrown into a shallow hole will quickly burst into flames. A bucket of water poured into another hole will instantly explode in a column of scalding steam. And the restaurant can even cook food over a barbecue grill laid over a simple, apparently empty volcanic pit. Away from the volcanic centre, the 280-year-old lava has cooled, providing the foundations for small whitewashed villages. One of the most unusual houses was built by the local artist, architect and environmentalist Cesar Manrique. He was born in Lanzarote in 1919 and became one of the most influential men on the island. He travelled the world and associated with artists like Picasso in Paris and Andy Warhol in New York. However, his greatest legacy can be seen in the island of Lanzarote itself. He dedicated his life to protecting its natural environment. He delighted in its ruggedness, and the natural textures and colours that surrounded him influenced much of his own artistic work. The house was used as his studio, and now includes a gallery of some of his work. He designed and built the house itself. The garden uses the space created by a collapsed lava bubble. 5 of its rooms are built underground in natural spaces created by air pockets in the cooling lava. He was proud of the traditional pattern of life on Lanzarote, and was determined that it should not succumb to the grotesque overdevelopments that he had seen in other international tourist resorts. He returned to his island home with a personal mission to protect its natural character. He used his architectural skills to ensure that any tourist development would remain true to the scale of local traditions. The sun, sea and sand still act as magnets to millions of visitors, but thanks to the planning controls that Cesar established, what the tourists see and where they stay still retain a low-level scale which reflects the traditional values of the island. This was recognised by UNESCO when it declared Lanzarote as a valuable biosphere site. It's the only entire island in the world to be awarded this prestigious classification. UNESCO credits the lobbying efforts of Cesar Manrique for giving priority to developing sustainable tourism that was respectful of the beautiful but inhospitable environment. Cesar's own artistic interests can also be seen around the island. The wind from the Atlantic is a key element in Lanzarote's climate, and Cesar was fascinated with the effect of the wind. He designed and built many wind-blown mobiles which take all shapes and sizes. Some of the original designs can be seen in his house. He also designed and produced many delightful murals, such as the one in his own garden. Cesar recognized that there were beautiful natural features of the volcanic landscape that deserved to be sensitively developed to improve public access. One such is part of a lava tube from the 3,000-year-old volcano Monte de la Corona. Jameas del Agua is where the tunnel reaches the coast. At this point, the roof of a massive natural volcanic bubble had collapsed. The underground lake is salt water filtered through volcanic lava, and is the home of blind miniature albino crabs found nowhere else in the world. Cesar's subtle manipulation of natural features has created a beautiful cave-like space that doubles as a nightclub and concert hall with wonderful acoustics. In another roofless bubble, he created a magnificent garden with a large swimming pool. Recognizing the natural beauty of the limited vegetation on the island, he also created a beautiful cactus garden out of a disused volcanic quarry, which shelters more than 1,500 different kinds of cactus plants collected from the Canary Islands and all around the world. The cactus garden was the last work of Cesar Manrique. It was finished in 1991, only a year before he was killed in a road accident. Cesar Manrique will be remembered as long as Lanzarote exists. The island, as we see it now, reflects the legacy of a true artist who saw much beauty in the natural environment and protected it so that all could enjoy it.